Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life, merely inhabiting your own body? That used to be me. Every morning when I woke up, the first thing I did wasn't to take a deep breath, but to grab my phone. The screen would light up and the noisy world would immediately flood my mind. Work emails, sensational news, perfect social media posts. I started each day not with my own intentions, but by reacting to the demands of others. All day long, I was like a boat without a rudder, tossed about by waves of events and emotions. By evening, I was exhausted, empty, and would again turn to my phone screen to fill that void. I looked in the mirror and asked myself, is this tired, anxious, and constantly busy person truly me? Is the life I'm living the life I've always longed for? That night, in the eerily quiet room, I made a decision. I didn't want to live like this anymore. I didn't want to merely exist. I wanted to truly live. And my journey of transformation began, not with some grand event, but with 10 small habits cultivated daily. The first habit came to me like a whisper in the dark, wake up earlier. Initially, it was a battle. The warm bed clung to me, and the alarm clock felt like an enemy, but I persevered. Just 30 minutes earlier, gradually, I began to savor that magical moment. While the rest of the world was still asleep, I had a space and time all to myself. I brewed a hot cup of tea, sat by the window, and watched the city slowly stir to life. That was when I thought, planned my day, and most importantly, reconnected with myself before the outside noise had a chance to intrude. Dawn became my silent companion, bringing me peace and a sense of control. To conclude my day, I created a symmetrical habit, journaling every evening. The notebook wasn't for recording dry events, but a place where I unburdened myself of all worries. My anxieties, my fears, my sudden joys all were poured out onto the pages. Writing helped me untangle the messy web of emotions. Sometimes, I realized that problems that had plagued me all day seemed very small when written down. Flipping through old journal entries, I saw my growth, how I had overcome seemingly insurmountable difficulties. The notebook became a confidant, never judging, always listening. Between that dawn and dusk, I filled the void with knowledge. The third habit was to read 10 pages of a book every day, just 10 pages. A goal so small I couldn't make excuses to refuse. I no longer scrolled aimlessly on my phone during free moments. Instead, I immersed myself in other worlds, new ideas. Books broadened my perspective, taught me critical thinking, and improved my focus, which had been eroded by constant notifications. 10 pages a day might sound little, but after a year, that's over 3,600 pages, equivalent to about 10 to 12 substantial books. Knowledge accumulated like drops of water, quietly filling my soul. To build inner strength, I learned to intentionally do difficult things. That was the fourth habit. It started with very small things. Taking a cold shower in the morning, choosing the stairs instead of the elevator, or tackling the task I dreaded most right at the start of the workday. Each time I overcame a small discomfort, I felt a little stronger. Like building muscle, my mental resilience was forged through these challenges. My self-confidence no longer depended on the praise of others, but was built from within, from the evidence that I could do things I once thought I couldn't. Along with inner strength, I learned to protect my space with the fifth habit, saying no without feeling guilty. Previously, I was a people pleaser. I accepted every invitation, every request for help, even when I was exhausted. As a result, my time and energy were drained. The first time I said no to an invitation, I felt incredibly guilty. But then I realized when I say no to things that aren't important, I'm saying yes to what truly matters to me. Time for family, for health, for personal projects. It was an act of self-respect. For these changes to be sustainable, I started tracking my habits. A simple grid on the wall, with check marks for each day I completed a habit. This was the sixth habit. Seeing the chain of check marks grow longer each day created an invisible motivation. I didn't want to break my streak of success. It wasn't about creating pressure, but about creating tangible proof of the person I was becoming. Each check mark was an affirmation. I am an early riser. I am a reader. I am disciplined. Throughout this journey, there were times I stumbled. I overslept. I skipped reading. I fell back into social media scrolling. At such times, the seventh habit became my lifeline, talking kindly to myself. The critical voice in my head used to be very loud. You failed again. You're useless. But now, I learned to talk to myself like a close friend. It's okay. Everyone gets tired sometimes. Let's try again tomorrow. Self-kindness created a safe mental space where I was allowed to make mistakes, allowed to be imperfect, and from there, found the courage to get up and keep going. Mind and body are one. I realized this through the eighth habit, moving my body every day. It didn't have to be intense gym workouts. Sometimes it was just a long walk in the park, a few gentle yoga poses in the morning, or even turning on music and dancing alone in my room. Movement helps blood flow to the brain, dispelling stagnation. Many creative ideas came to me not when I was sitting in front of a computer screen, but when I was walking among green trees. My mood improved and my energy was significantly higher. One of the most surprising discoveries came from the ninth habit, embracing boredom without using my phone. In moments of waiting, instead of pulling out my phone to kill time, I just sat still and observed. I watched people pass by, listened to the sounds of life, or simply let my mind wander. Scientists call this the activation of the brain's default mode network. That's when unexpected connections are made, when deep thoughts and unique ideas germinate. I realized that boredom is not an enemy to be eliminated, but fertile ground for creativity. And finally, the 10th habit, perhaps the one that liberated me the most, taking imperfect action. I used to be a perfectionist, and that caused me to procrastinate everything. I always waited until I had enough time, enough knowledge, enough inspiration to start, but that perfection never came. Now, I learned to just get started, even if the first step was clumsy and messy. I want to write a book? I'll write a terrible paragraph. I want to learn a new skill? I'll start with 5 minutes of flawed practice. Because I understand that clarity comes from action, not from thought. Motivation is generated by starting, not the other way around. 10 habits, 10 small steps every day. They didn't turn my life into a fairy tale. I still have bad days, moments of discouragement, but one thing has changed forever. I am no longer an aimless boat. I have become the one at the helm. I have my values as my compass and good habits as my rudder. I know how to navigate my boat through storms and how to enjoy days of calm seas and blue skies. The journey of self-improvement is not a destination, but a path. A path paved with small choices, persistent actions every day. Looking at the person in the mirror now, I still see familiar features, but my eyes are different. They hold peace, confidence, and the gaze of someone truly living their own life. And I believe that any of us can start that journey. There's no need to wait for a perfect moment. Where does your journey begin? Perhaps it starts with a small decision right now.